can officially start. Gentlemen, dear all, good evening and thank you so much for joining this discussion panel. I'm truly grateful to see so many wonderful musicians here, willing to share time, experience and ideas. As you know already, my name is Bartosz Sałdan. Bartosz, or you can call me the shorter version Bartek. It's like Bartok, but with different ending. And I'm connecting with you from Krakow, Poland, where I live now. This meeting, as I told you, is organized as a part of my scholarship from the National Recovery Plan for Culture, and it has given me a chance to explore and deepen my knowledge in timpani art in general, as well as in historical performance, which is my big passion. And this panel is a continuation of that journey, a way to learn from each other, to exchange perspectives within our community. The idea of this discussion came from my own artistic path. Historical performance has always been present in my life. I was lucky to meet in age of 12 a great natural trumpet player, Tomasz Ślusarczyk, with whom I started to play back then, and we worked together till now. Last summer passed 20 years since my first and our first concert together in the orchestra. There was water music and fireworks suites by Hempel in the program. So I think nice beginning. And through music festival organized by Thomas, I met a lot of amazing people, and those contacts evolved into many inspiring collaborations, such as Floripari Ensemble focused on Renaissance music, Polish orchestra of 18th century, early brass ensemble Star Company, to name a few. And from 2024, I joined the faculty of Krzysztof Penderecki Academy of Music in Krakow in early music department, where I try now to introduce professional approach to performing historical music on percussion. As at the same time, however, I was also involved in contemporary and symphonic music. By the way, my doctoral dissertation focused on the performance of multi-percussion compositions. I mentioned all this to give some context to the story. So over the years, evaluating my career and comparing to my colleagues, I often wondered, is historical performance something that should naturally belong to every percussionist toolkit, or because we are already so versatile in our craft, or is it rather a distinct specialization on its own? How it works abroad, what can I do to perform it and later teach it on the highest level? Then that questions became the starting point for today's meeting. I hope this conversation will be an open, friendly I'm sure this conversation will be an open, friendly exchange of thoughts, a space to reflect our experiences, perhaps maybe inspire new directions for research. Once again, thank you very much for being here and for your willingness to contribute. I'm truly honored to host this discussion and to look forward to hearing your insights. Now, to better know each other, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself in a few words, as we represent quite impressive group with musicians of different backgrounds from all over the world, from New Zealand and Australia through Europe to the west coast of United States. So that's I'm so grateful for all of this. So if you could tell a few words about yourself. I have from my left side I have Dominik. So Dominik, if you could start, it would be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. And so Dominik, I play almost exclusively historical percussion when Basel and hopefully collaborate the talking about.
Okay. Okay, so you're a student in Basel. You are also performing with ensembles, historical ensembles there.
Yes, most the scholars are music school. In addition to freelance.
Okay, okay, amazing. Thank you. So the first from the right is better. Could you tell us something about your work?
And you can listen to me very fine.
Yes, excellent.
Okay. So to the first, my English is not so very good. I hope you understand everything. I think I have a very good touristical English. Okay, I'm Peter from Leipzig, Germany, and my main thing is playing percussion in early music. Sometimes also the timpani, and I'm a teacher in the HMT, in the conservatory in Leipzig. My thing there is I teach jazz popular music, and this is what I studied. Later I comes to the early music, but now I play early music since about 25 years, and after around 10 years it feels like, oh my God, I'm a specialist for this, because the people ask me for giving lessons in this way. So I come from the side of jazz popular music to this stuff of historical percussion. Yes, and my main group is Lautenkompanie Berlin and different other projects where I'm the guest for the special things. Yeah, that's enough.
Amazing, thank you so much. Okay, Martin, Pinter.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you for having me here with this panel. So yeah, I'm Martin Pinter. I come from Ljubljana, Slovenia. Yeah, and I'm a percussionist based here in Ljubljana. So I play in normal orchestras, but so since this year, actually, I'm part of this Balthasar Neumann Academy. So they started now with this orchestra academy there, Balthasar Nova. I don't know if you know about it. So it's this project that is founded by the European Union. So they made this ensemble of, let's say, young musicians up to 30, and it's specifically for early music. So yeah, they are then organizing. So this program is now for 2 years, and we have concerts now all over Europe, and they're organizing licensed master classes and concerts. Yeah, and now I'm actually doing mostly this now. Yeah, besides of my job. Yeah, and I play here in Ljubljana in the Polizei Orchestra. So it's this police orchestra. So yeah, but also with other orchestras here in the region, in Croatia, in Austria. But yeah, now actually my main thing is this Balthasar Nova thing. So yeah, that's it actually basically. So yeah.
Okay. Now from my perspective, I'm jealous. So you have such great possibility to perform and to play music with such nice ensemble. I know Maarten has some experience with the Balthasar ensemble. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all. Yeah, I've been working with Thomas Engelbrock and Balthasar Neumann for about more than 20 years, and which was a great experience. And of course, yeah, attended, of course, these master classes. We did a lot of projects with pupils and people coming in. Very interesting man, Thomas, very interesting band and a beautiful choir. And not only early music, we did a lot of other things as well. Parsifal, for instance, great thing. Big tour, Madrid, Dortmund was set up all over the place. But anyway, you want me to continue, Bartosz?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, my main orchestra is the orchestra of the 18th century, founded by Frans Bruggen. And how I came into that, I was a member of the Amsterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, 1974. That's a long time. I was 22, I think. after gigging a lot with Concertgebouw, my teacher was solo timpanist in Concertgebouw Orchestra, Jan Labordis. And from there, I got this job in the Amsterdam Philharmonic. And after 8 years, I found they were fusing with Utrecht into the NETVO, which is the Netherlands Philharmonic now, since years. And I was not really happy to get into opera stuff because that was what they were going to do more. My root is actually drums, jazz drums. My father was a jazz drummer. My brother is a drummer. And I couldn't combine things with my with my gigs enough. And I found out that I actually liked chamber music more. I was playing a lot with the Netherlands Chamber Orchestra in those days, under Ros Marba, for instance, and Emmanuel Krivin. And I think that is the moment where maybe Frans Bruggen heard me play. And I then went to America to visit some jazz schools. And when I came back and I was about to start playing with big bands in the radio, I got a call from Frans and he said, I need a timpanist for my next tour, which was their, I think, second performance in 1984, May. So that's where I started. And I was just back from the States. I had no money and I got into this band just for this one tour, and it felt like coming home. It was a different kind of swing, which I loved. No tails, no jackets or posh clothes, no baton. Frans Bruggen was in his jeans, dirty jeans mostly, long hair, and it was absolutely, for me, it was flabbergasting in those days. So I was very lucky to get in and to continue, and I stayed there for 40 years now. Yeah, a little more than 40 years, I think. So apart from that, which was about a half year of the job, I worked, I was living in Iceland when I started more or less the orchestra with my present wife, who is Icelandic. And I played with the Icelandic Symphony Orchestra there. Next to that, I commuted with the tours of the 18th century all the time. After coming back into Holland, I played a lot with the Radio Chamber Orchestra. There was a vacancy there, and I got in as a steady player, but everything combined with orchestra of the 18th century. So half year that, and the other half was freelance and stuff like that. I worked with the Rotterdam Philharmonic for 4 years, with the Orchestra Sinfonica di Barcelona for 2 years as a solista invitat. But throughout the years, I kept on playing with Frans and the orchestra of the 18th century, and lots of more. But I think that's about it for now.
Okay, thank you. Such a great story. I remember performance of the Orchestra of 18th Century with Frans Bruggen in Warsaw. It was, oh my God, 2009, and they needed you wasn't playing that concert, but they needed 2 guys to perform Midnight's Night Dream by Mendelssohn. I remember rehearsal with so we came there through Thomas, I believe. But unfortunately, so we played rehearsal, and it's funny and it's partially it's tragedy for me because after the rehearsal they decided to cut those parts, the parts of Midnight Summer Dream, where the triangle and cymbals were. And
I remember that story. Yeah,
I went to a gig with amazing orchestra. I was working with amazing conductor during rehearsal. And then it was perfect concert. I love it so much. But
it was a pupil of mine from Iceland, and he took over the tour. It was August, right? 2009.
Yes.
And I was in hospital for a cancer operation,
oh my God.
Thank God I survived.
Mm-hmm.
But it was everything went very sudden. It was diagnosed 1st of July, and I was operated 6th of August, and that was, I think, one day after the orchestra left for Warsaw.
Oh
and Kjartan Gunnarsson, he was a pupil of mine in Iceland. Mm-hmm. He played that tour, and I remember for him it was a great experience because nobody else. I tried the whole world, but it was a holiday. Everybody was occupied or on holiday, and he was the lucky one to do the tour. So you met him.
Yes. Amazing player. It was very, very nice performance.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
And he played on my drums because the drums were already packed for the tour.
Oh.
And the operation was so sudden that, in order to get me better, so he played the drums, but he had no idea what he was going to play on. He didn't know the drums at all. But we managed to up and down.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Maarten.
You're welcome.
Okay, Matteo.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for the invitation. Well, I'm Matteo. I'm based in Italy, in Genova, and my story is simple. I started to play drums in reggae bands, and after I applied for the conservatory to study classical percussion, I graduated there, and I played a lot with symphony orchestra. But after I started playing, I fell in love with historical percussion. I remember I heard the CD Ostinato. I don't know if you know it. It's by Jordi Savall. Is I hear it and I said I want to play that kind of music and that kind of percussion. So since almost 15 years, I'm playing only on historical percussion.
Amazing.
As freelancing.
You play a lot in Holland, yes? With Holland Baroque?
Yes, one of my main ensembles is Holland Baroque, that is based in Utrecht.
Amazing. Nice. Okay, thank you. Larry? Cannot hear you. Larry, if you could unmute the mic. Okay.
Sorry about that. Hello,
Yes.
everyone. I'm zooming in from Wellington, New Zealand, where it's Thursday morning. So it's tomorrow for most of you. I'm originally from the northeast of the United States. Studied in New York and in London for graduate studies. Freelanced in the States in lots of different orchestras and ensembles, and even the Ringling Brothers Circus. And I won the timpani position here in the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra in 1998, and I've been the timpanist here since. But while I was a student in New York, I fell in love with an early music ensemble that had done the complete terpsichore of Michael Praetorius, and so I've had a love of early music for most of my career. And a lot of it's been self-taught. Fortunately, there are 2 Baroque ensembles here in New Zealand that I perform with, and a lot of the music that I play is I speak to colleagues and look at historical research about percussion performance and timpani performance. I'm mainly a timpanist in the symphony orchestra, but I do a bit of percussion and timpani in these early music ensembles. And so this discussion is very timely because this has always been a real passion of mine alongside my symphonic work here in New Zealand. Thanks.
Okay, I heard that because I did my research, your passion is riding a motorcycle around New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a keen motorcyclist. I've been lucky to ride here in Australia and around the States. And it's the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra tours around New Zealand all the time. We spend about 100 days a year on the road around the country. So myself and a few other orchestral colleagues who are motorcyclists often do the orchestral tours on the motorbikes. So it's more like a motorcycle holiday interrupted by 6 or 7 concerts.
Amazing. Okay. Marcin Drajewicz.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Bartosz. Dobry wieczór.
Dobry wieczór.
So I come originally from Poland and moved to Germany around 10 years ago to start internship at the Mainz State Theater in like the middle of Germany. And then afterwards I went to Prague to study at the Orchestra Academy of the Czech Philharmonic. And then I started my master studies in Dresden I also play with state operetta there. So mainly like modern orchestras all the time, also mainly gigs. And for the last 5 years, almost, I've been teaching percussion at the music school in Ravensburg, which is at this near the Bodensee region, south of Germany. And I came mostly to listen to this meeting because historical performance is not really my thing yet. Out of curiosity, I wanted to delve deeper in this part of timpani performance. So that's the short story.
Okay, thank you. I think with such amazing company we have here, it's the best place to learn and to dive into this topic. Okay, Marko, are you free to speak? Because I see you are driving. Please drive carefully.
Safely parked. My engine is off. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes.
So my name is Marko Edwards. I'm in San Francisco. I studied in Oregon, University of Oregon, and I was fortunate enough to study in Musik Hochschule Frankfurt am Main back in the 80s with Mr. Peter Gerveit. And I freelanced around in Frankfurt for 5 or 6 or 7 years, a little bit in Holland, and we were some in France with the Dutch orchestra. And then I returned to the superpower about 1990, right after the wall came down. And I have been freelancing in America with community orchestras. I play primarily the timpani. I have the Goodman chain timpani, which appear like Baroque timpani, but they have the chain on the circumference. So I can do the quick changes. And I use regular plastic heads now. I'd love to put on natural calfos, but they are cost prohibitive. And so I'm playing probably a dozen concerts a year with my community orchestra, as well as playing Brazilian samba and Irish traditional music here and there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Jack Holmes.
Hi everyone. I'm Jack. I'm from Australia. I live in Canberra, and I've just sort of finished my bachelor's degree in orchestral performance. I play with the Canberra Symphony Orchestra, as well as a lot of different community groups like National Capital Orchestra, and a lot of sort of musical theatre performances as well. So like 3-week show runs around the city. I also don't have a lot of experience with historical performance, but it's something I'm interested in learning more about. So I'd love to listen and learn from the experts. So thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you so much. And with this, I already can put my next question to the trash, because it was, do you have any training in the field of historical performance? And I see that most of us just dived into this by performing with the ensembles. I think Dominik, yes, you have some lessons with on some instruments in Basila.
I had lessons with people who were experienced with historical percussion, but I didn't officially study historical anything.
Okay, but you had it during your studies as a course or master classes, yeah?
No, I just
Okay.
wrote to people, can you teach me?
Okay, amazing.
And I read up, and I also just experimented myself like the rest of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Martin is the only one properly learning in the field.
Yeah, so I mean the thing is also what I knew from these things. So this program in that sense that it's like an academy program for early music, I think it's the first in Europe what now Balthasar Neumann is doing. So okay, there are still, some stuff that they are figuring out. Yeah, but mostly it works. So the thing is, for me, for example, I played with Balthazar for some Cuban Academy things, and it was like a normal orchestra program. And then, they announced the Balthazar thing, and then I said, okay, I mean, I want to play with this ensemble still more, and I really like the people in the organization, everything. And then I did the audition, but the audition was on the on the Baroque timpani. So it was like this normal audition program called on Baroque timpani. And yeah, for me, I mean, I didn't have like a special approach to this, I have a pair of timpani now, Baroque timpani, so I just experimented and trying to be as familiar, with the instrument. Yeah, so that was actually my approach to this. Yeah, and now actually I'm learning by playing mostly, So I'm playing with this ensemble, and then also on the projects we have lessons with the members from the Balthazar Neumann ensemble, and I'm taking also lessons then with them privately. So it's like this thing. But I would say the most things that I learn now is by playing and, by playing on my instruments. Because also this, I think it's quite a big thing with this historical timpani. I mean, it really helps that you play on your instruments if you can. At least for me, it was like this. Because, with this renting instruments and stuff, you never know what you get. And, but, no, so that's my actually, my story behind it.
Okay.
I hope I helped, no, but yeah. Also, I mean, they are now. I think so we have now this academy program for 2 years, and also for the next 2 years, I think new people will come. But yeah, as far as I know, this is the only thing that is like a official early music learning in Europe. As far as I know, I don't know if there was before something like that. At least for percussion, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
I
I
studied
hope I
also.
helped. I hope I helped with the answer. So,
Matteo?
I also studied the historical percussion with Pedro Esteban when I started to play. Yeah, not in a conservatoire, but in masterclass around Europe, also here in Italy.
Okay, amazing.
I started with him to play historical percussion. Luckily.
Yes, yes. I remember when I was a small kid and during music history lessons, I saw the recording of Monteverdi Orfeo when he was walking with the drum. Jordi Savall was walking through the hall and he was
Yes.
standing on the balcony. Yeah, sorry, it was that. But such incredible
Yes, a very
performance.
historical bird.
Yes.
Because well, I can say you a joke. Once we were with Pedro in Granada it was late night. It was about 2 in the morning, and they say, "Maestro, you can play that pavana, that flow that is always fantastic." And he said me, "You can see this." And so I came back after years. I say, "Maestro, I also have a bird," and he answered me, "It has to be white to have a good pavana." Because it's the experience.
Oh, incredible. Oh, thank you so much for this. We have one new person, Jan Nepodal from Czech Republic. Jan, are you with us?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, please, everyone, it's your turn to introduce yourself. Please tell us what you do, how you work, and why are you here?
Yes, sorry, I'm still on the way, so excuse me for the delay. As I joined, I'm a percussionist, I'm a teacher, and actually I was always interested in like historical percussion, but I never studied it or like correctly perform it. So the idea that you are doing this session is really kind of good experience or possibility to I don't know, get more knowledge about it. So briefly about me, I play in orchestras, but mainly like kind of romantic and this kind of like contemporary. So not really a historical guy, but I'm really kind of into this to get more knowledge about it, if it makes sense.
Okay. And I think more and more often conductors start to ask for if you play repertoire from the era, to ask to maybe play different sound or use different instrument if possible. Yes.
Yes, definitely, and also depends on the instrument. What like possibilities do you have? If you have, as you had in a info that to use goat or not to have, it depends if your orchestra has it or your institution. So if there's possibility to have maybe calpos, then it's nice to use them, not to prefer just the modern plastic sound. So also depends on the brand of the instrument that you have. I think it really differs to the countries. I wasn't there, so the previous half an hour, so I'm not sure like from where everyone is. So what the possibilities in your country are for the instrument.
Yeah, yeah. I found that it's happened more and more often here in Poland, maybe that the people want to do this in style of if we play, for example, some classical repertoire, they if it's possible to use the drum, the skin natural skins are maybe not yet as popular in Poland because they are of course quite expensive. You need a person to know who knows how to handle them. Yes, but I would maybe it's the question for the more experienced timpanists. Did you happen to play such repertoire on modern timpani and try to? What did you do to achieve the sound that the conductor wanted?
It's question on me. Like I just have experience on the calpos on the flaps, for example. So it's kind of more of like romantic instrument, I suppose, not really kind of historic like Baroque or classicism. So it really varies. So I'm maybe not as experienced in this than others. So
Okay, Larry.
In my experience, I'm lucky enough that I've collected quite a lot of interesting antique instruments over the years. But I've also had conductors, when we're in a contemporary setting, to ask for a more traditional early sound. So one of the quickest solutions I've found is just to move everything to the smallest drums possible, to experiment with some muting in different locations, not just to make the sound less big, but also to make the drum sound quite small. I've experimented with different points of the head muting, and of course, clearly change the kind of mallet you use. I've had quite a lot of success with just like raw cork and these mutes on the smallest possible drums to try to mimic that early sound. But as I said, whenever we do mixed repertoire in a program that has an earlier piece of music as well as more modern stuff, I always have multiple sets of instruments on stage. So I have quite a number of hand-tuned instruments. I have some Kerbal-Pauken, I have some chain drums, some belt lafimas. So I'm quite spoiled with calf options and goat options and plastic. So, but for those of us that don't always have that luxury, trying to experiment with mimicking a natural sound on plastic is just a really useful exercise to see what kind of color changes we can discover.
Yeah, great. You mentioned the cork mallets because the clear wood on the plastic creates this very, very sharp and noisy attack that I personally don't like. I tried to also experiment with moongels, especially to put the three of them in the middle and on the sides to create the like the string of the neck bone. Trying to recreate those maybe the sound and to cut some of those frequencies. Yeah. Do any other of you has such experiences?
I mean, for me, when I was preparing actually for this Baltazar Nova audition, I didn't have my old drums at the beginning. I bought them after I won the audition, because I mean I was playing before, so I was then preparing for this audition, on actually so mostly modern drums. Then I was experimenting a lot, with this dampening stuff, but still trying to get the feel, because then I saw, the thing was, maybe this wood with small sticks, is not maybe the best sound if you're playing on the modern drums and if you try to reproduce this old drum sound. But then if you play too much with the modern sticks, then you lose this feel. This I found. So then I didn't. Then I tried to actually still be, how I would play on my small baroque drums, with the sticks, with everything. I didn't then try to change it too much, But this was actually my experience with this. But now, I play mostly stuff on my old drums that have like goat skins, and then I have some extra calfo skins also, just in case if something breaks. So they're already tucked on the. So one extra skins are already tucked on the rims, and if something breaks, just in case, before the performers or anything, I can put the calfo on. But so that's my my story with this.
Okay. Matteo, did you want to say something?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no, sorry.
Sorry. Please,
No,
Maestro.
go ahead. Sorry, I
Please.
misunderstood.
I have my idea about this question, but I don't like to play baroque timpani with modern orchestras, because in my opinion, timpani is an instrument and baroque timpani it is another instrument. Well, it's like a piano and a Fender Rhodes. They both have keys. They're black and white. They both play with percussion, but it's another instrument. So I don't like so much to have a baroque instrument with modern instrument. Well, because also I think in my experience, my sound of baroque timpani is not a good sound. It's a bad sound, because the skins, where the skin you can find now, calfo are wonderful. Every calfo on this handle timpani, with Van der Glass old timpani. I have put calfo, but it's a perfect skin. Well, I think it's made by laser cutting for all the same dimension. This is my idea of sound. I have some super dark sound and some ugly skins on my baroque timpani, but they perfectly melt with trumpet, natural trumpet, no whole trumpet, with really. I have this wonderful section with two friends who plays. The second play with no holes, so really natural with big, and the first with and the first with holes that can play Messiah, Messa in Si minore, and everything. But in my idea, baroque timpani is another instrument from modern timpani, because they were instrument of a chivalry. They get mud, they get rain, they get hot, they get cold, and people went from a horse and put timpani there and start to play. And a really different thing is the think of the music, way you think of the musicality of the phrase. Once I saw a letter from Johann Sebastian Bach, who says that the timpanist has to be the biggest musicality in the orchestra, because you have to phrase only on two notes. It's easy to phrase if you have a violin who can play 3 octaves. It's difficult to phrase on two notes. This is my opinion, the way I play baroque timpani. I don't play modern timpani. My most modern thing I play timpani is Beethoven Third Symphony. I don't go after. So this is my idea about what everything happens before. I never played the timpani in orchestra for Mahler or something like that. Neither than Ninth of Beethoven. I can play it. I play only before. And I play with super short stick, because I found once. I can show you. I have here, if you have 1 second.
Yes, please. And to all of you, please, if you want to ask a question or say something, just go with it. That's amazing.
Sorry.
Yes?
This is original 17th, 18th century sticks, and you know it's super small. It's like 25 centimeters, and I play with not with a stick because I'm really afraid of broke it, but I play with sticks like that, not longer than this, and all wood. This I think they are. Is a Dutch, sorry, a German maker, Kaufmann, I think. That is we say it the leg of the table. We call it. That is all you know.
I got this.
Yeah, I only play with that. I bought in my life hundreds of sticks because I also play before other instrument. Really hundreds of sticks, but I only play with that because it has this rich sound of a chivalry. This is my idea about Baroque timpani.
Okay. Maarten?
Yeah, I'm very interesting hearing all these suggestions and ways. Excuse me. I think first of all, it takes the musicality of a person and the flexibility of a person in order to be able to play Baroque. Very versatile, first of all. And I think coming back to Matteo, sorry. The skins, of course, are very important. I hear a lot, or not a lot, but I hear many times now Calvo. I have never used Calvo on my classical Baroque drums. Sound is too beautiful. So in that sense, I agree with Matteo.
Yeah, sure.
There are much cheaper skins around available with excellent quality, and preferably you can have them bleached or white colored, how do you call it, cloudy, transparent, anything you want, thickness, goat as well as calf. I preferred in my case calf because with Franz we could play a piece by Bach and maybe Scheidt, Rameau, and then the next day he would rehearse Beethoven up to Schumann, Manfred we did. And on the Potter drums, which I have, I found it actually easy. What I want to say is actually the musicality of the percussion is so important. The first of all, the good hearing, the kind of wood you use on a head, on a skin. Many experience you can have, but for instance, the Kaufmann, I can't work with it because it's massa made. I prefer a stick I would support anybody who tries to make his own stick, or maybe you find a good carpenter, which I had, who is really interested in helping you out and finding the right stick which belongs to you. And each player has a different way of approaching the moment coming down to on the head is very different with everybody. And so I would support actually anybody who tries to make a great effort to find the exact good stick, because there are no best sticks, in my opinion. The stick, like Matteo said, which you prefer, and the wood, the quality of the wood is very, very important. Which I prefer is a kind of charm beechwood. It has a musical sound by itself, actually, which I love. Anyway, okay. Now coming to plastic heads, yeah, you can move a lot. What Larry said, covering, using different kinds of sticks, leather preferably, but even with wood, if you have the right wood, you could make things happen with plastic heads. I don't like it, but it is possible. And traveling the whole world, I've always done with calf head skins. And with, my first tour to Japan, everybody went out for dinner, getting sushi, and I stayed in the hall using a humidifier to keep those things humidified, and oh man, it was hell in the first years when you had no experience to keep those things in tune with all the lights of the television, whatever in the hall. But anyway, throughout the years, you have to keep going. What Martin said, you have to be able to get that experience. Actually, that's the whole thing. And if you get that, I was lucky to do it from the beginning. I got that chance. Nobody said how I should play the stuff. But then you start reading, you start learning about things. You start buying books, blades, name it, anything. Jeremy, what's his name in England? Montagu. Yeah. All these people, you read, you go to your museums, you go to libraries, and you find out, and then you make your own thing around it. And actually, that's my advice to everyone. I'm drifting off now. We were talking about heads, but I would advise anybody, do your best. Carvo is just too expensive, and I don't like the sound. It's too modern. I have these kurbelpauken, and when I got them, Van den Hoek timpani, they were made when Mr. Schneller came to Amsterdam in the Mahler time with, he brought some Schnellers, and then the old timpanist of the Concertgebouw, Cor Smit, he had a friend who was a metal worker. Can I say that? Is that the right word? Craftsman?
Blacksmith.
Yeah. And he made these beautiful Van der Hoek pauken, which are these kurbelpauken. There are about 6 pairs, I think, altogether. And even then I bought them when I got them from the Radio Chamber Orchestra. I took off the Calvo immediately and put in calf head skins, which I bought in England. And that was perfect sound. It's a bit drier, not too round, not too boomy. And with that, especially with the modern orchestra, I could easily play Rameau and even earlier stuff on that. Cover a little the skin, preferably, of course, when you play the real old stuff, the smaller drums are the best. But on the other hand, I've also, with the Rotterdam Philharmonic, I've also played on my Potter timps, even a B minor mass. You tune up to 442. It's not as nice, of course. I prefer that blending sound of the basses and the celli and the oboes with the strings. That's beautiful. You don't hear that anywhere else but in a good early music orchestra. But anyway, it was possible, and it depends on how you approach that skin with your hands to get the sound out which you wish in a B minor mass, even with a big orchestra like that. So I think it is possible, but you need the good drums. And I must say the Potters are more classical than Baroque drums, but you can go all the way actually with them. I think that's enough for me.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody else maybe.
Yes. Jan, did you want to say something? No? Okay, Larry?
I had a question for those of you that do quite a lot of percussion as opposed to timpani. One of the things I've always struggled with over the years is knowing what to play because there's no part written. And obviously studying the score, perhaps listening to recordings. How do you gentlemen create a timpani part, especially Matteo? You've got decades of experience. When you are faced with a piece of music that requires some percussion accompaniment, how do you compose that part?
Sorry, you are talking about timpani or about percussion?
No, just percussion. Percussion.
Yes. It depends a lot from which kind of music I have to play, which is the period, and which is the character of the music. For example, sometimes we had percussion, field drum in firework music, for example, is commonly used. Sometimes with a timpani. For me, sometimes not, because sometimes timpani is with trumpets, and sometimes drum has to be with horns. But this is my ideas. I can say it's the right idea. I think that everyone has his own idea. And what I always suggest to my student is to create your own idea. Sometimes you have to fight against what is commonly played. I think that creative part in my job is one of the most important thing. When I arrive at the first rehearsal, the job is done. Well, you know what I mean. I remember when I started to play, I have to play one Dido and Enea by parcel, and I stayed 2 weeks if thinking if it was a chun taratam pum or pum choro chun ta. That nobody can care about it, just me, and I think nobody in the orchestra noticed if I played once of or the other one. But for me, it was the most important things of life because I tried to play what I really. Uh, I have to play what is really my perfect thing for me. I never try to play something that well, it's not so good, but let's do it. So we have some personally. I have some ideas that when I play a salterello is tu 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 ta tu 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 ta tu 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 ta. And when I play the gagliarda it's chun karadan dan karadan dun karadan dan da da dan. But sometimes, except in recording, every time I play is slightly different. It can be always the same, like if you play Sherazade on snare drum that you play, you have to play 10 times at 10 times exactly the same notes. Well, this is my idea.
Like a drummer in the big band.
Yeah, thank you. Really, yes. And well, I don't want to talk too much because we are a lot of people. I think everybody has to talk. But my idea is that now we can't exactly play as they played in the Middle Age or in the Renaissance because we are the Frank Zappa, we are the Beatles, we are the modern music after. So we are totally affected, not affected, but you know what I mean, by what we heard in our life. I came from Italy, I play in a certain way. If I play with Spanish people, I have to slightly change because it's always our background, what we heard in the beginning. For example, if you play with Greece music with Greek people, for them it's very easy. Maybe every time everybody is a different sign is 980, 780. For them it's like dancing. In Italy, we play churu 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 is super easy to play, but for somebody else, I think it's different. So I always try to find something that is right, but put a little bit of me also in what I play. This is my main, most important things for me.
Okay, maybe Peter, maybe you could tell us something about how you approach those kind of problems because you play a lot in Latin company, you play a lot of this kind of music.
Yeah, yes, and it's about 5 or 6 ensembles in Germany where I play. They are a little bit different, and they have a repertoire. They play very original stuff and sometimes this crossover stuff. But if we play Baroque opera, for example, in next year we got 3 operas from Handel in the Handel Festspiele with puppets from Italy. Matteo, maybe you know them. The company from Milano, I think.
I don't know who they are, but
Historical puppets on the stage. We played the original music, and there we play very original sounding. The idea, I don't do this. I don't take modern instruments or sounds. I take sounds which I think in this time they got stuff like this. There is no notation. It's like you. I create my own voice, but the experience is to read. They ask me what you need. You need the complete score, or you need the continuo stuff. And to the first, I start with the score, the complete score. I see everything. I see the violins and the bass lines and so on. And then, because of my experience, I see in the ritornelli, I can play in this time tamburello, for example, or I play castanets because of the character, because it's about love, or it's a little bit Spain stuff. And so I got a register of different sounds, the deep sound. Maybe I got the timpani, for example, in this Handel operas. There is not timpani written down, but I create this also because of the trumpets. And to the first, I do some experiments, but 3 times maybe I play it, and then everyone reward I play the same thing. It feels like the beginning of written down music of percussion or timpani in this Baroque music if you play opera. Um, but I think most important is to have the experience because last year I was in Heidelberg. There were students for orchestra music and also solistical uh, uh, percussionists. They have no experience with Baroque music, and the conductor plays on piano the score, and I give them the tamburello, for example. Try a little bit, and there was no idea. The, and for me, it was crazy because I listened so often this style of music, and that's why I would say you need an ensemble what give you a chance to go your own way because there is not because if you say okay I can play like Pedro Estefan he is yeah is not an historical player he have his own ideas and he can give this ideas to you but in the end, we are without information. Maybe sometimes in personal music, for example, he written down on the edge of the score castanets, not more. Maybe only an idea about inside of the semi-opera. And so you, okay, any one of the orchestra played a little bit castanets, so I do it. And so uh, then I'm looking at the score and listen to the music and listen to the conductor because you need a conductor. He is or she is very interested in this stuff because without interest, just play percussion, it's not enough. So you need the relationship of the ensemble and the conductor about to play this. Without that, no chance, I would say if you haven't experienced this. But I think it's very helpful to read with the continuo, and it's always a mixture of playing freely and reading. And I think because the students in Heidelberg ask me what is my special thing, and I think this is our special supercraft that we can play freely and reading the score. Because if you ask an percussionist from jazz or folk music, he can play very good. He would play like feeling, but he never have a chance to listen to the music 10 times. You have to read the score. Without reading, no chance. Because sometimes 9 bars, sometimes nothing, then 8 bars like this. So maybe it helps. Or you have questions.
And if I can add something,
Yeah.
sometimes we are like painters. We put colors in the music. We have to add. I think also Peter, I saw your video, so we met also sometimes, and we have a lot of colors. It's like a painter. If you have only black and white, you can put 2 colors. If you have a castanet, tambourine, taccole, and everything else, you can put a lot of colors in the music that sometimes are good only for you, sometimes are good only for the ensemble, sometimes are good for the audience. So this is my approach to the music. Also, sometimes to put a little bit of spice with the spice in the soup.
And I would say, you say different instruments, but also know different styles and sounds on this one instrument. You can
Yeah.
play with the tamburello so different, and so you have learned different techniques from different traditions, and you can, in our Baroque style, I think the same like Matteo is a mixture of everything. If you're a specialist in Oriental music, with the rig, for example, it's not enough, or only playing traditional Italian music. You can't play all of the time. Tak, 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 tak. It's not enough.
Yeah, sure.
So you have to be free in using the instruments and to give this right color and pushing the music. Yeah.
So you basically, besides playing, being a musician, classical musician, so playing notes, you have to interpret it properly. Sometimes improvise on these two notes on timpani, for example. But also, from what you all say, it's also different kind of skills, hand drums, frame drums, different types of frame drums or darabukas. And for me personally, it's one of the biggest challenges to get the proper. I feel as always I am lacking technique on this kind of drums. Even if I studied with Murat Koskun, the frame drums and all this kind of technique, I still feel like I am lacking it, and it can be good advice for a person that would like to go deeper into playing such music, is to start as early as possible playing something with his fingers and hands. Yes.
The improvisation skill is another thing, which you really need, and not everybody has that.
Yeah.
I've done master classes which I called Baroque and all that jazz. So I put on a drum set as well as Baroque timpani and some percussion instruments, and then start playing on the drum kit, like maybe with a tape, Autumn Leaves, name it, and play 8 bars solo and then go on, just to give the idea what it is to improvise. And it's amazing, but you will find that a lot of people don't know how to improvise. And what can help is what sometimes I need my glasses in order just to read what Peter said. Then you can do it through the score. You can do it through knowledge about the time it was played in. You have to know the dances. I mean, if you have a gavotte or a contredanse, if you know all these things, exactly. If you know all these things, then it helps a lot to give an idea, and listen to a lot of recordings and reading together in your part. There's maybe nothing in your part, in the score mainly. How could I approach it? And in my case, I was very lucky to work with Frans Bruggen, who had specific ideas on this matter. When we did Rameau, all the suites, Le Bourriade, Les Indes Galantes, Assis and Xavier, every time we would discuss together where we would add percussion or even a timpani part. And sometimes it was written in the scores, plus percussion, plus percussion. Or on the side next to the trumpets, add some timps in French. And then we always discuss, what shall we do? Shall we do? And sometimes I came up with an idea with this beautiful thing with the musagette. Is it called the musette?
Bagpipe.
Yeah, the hand bagpipe. To add a bass drum there, but very soft in the distant. Things like that. That's the idea. What Matteo says, you have to be, you have to find out these things for yourself. Then you bring in a little of yourself. And when I mentioned this to Frans, he said, no, let's be very careful. And let's try. And then we tried it in the orchestra, and he just loved it. So you always discuss together, And I did the same with Thomas Hengelbrock, always discussing where shouldn't we do it? And mostly with the dancers, of course, tambourine, tamborello, name it. It all came up, tarabukas even. And what's his name? Rebel. And the Turkish emperor, all these pieces with tarabuka and all these Indian or Middle East instruments. Very important. But hey, guys, I'm very sorry, Bartosz. You said
Yes.
it was going to take an hour, and I have a meeting with the rhythm section. I'm playing in a big band now, a semi-professional.
Okay.
And we have a concert on Sunday, and I'm meeting in my studio the members of the rhythm section just to go through a few pieces. But
Of
because you
course.
said it's just an hour, I will have to break off here, unfortunately. And but I see you again on the 18th. Is that correct?
Yes, please. I would like to. I would
This
like.
was a
I
bit of
would
short.
love to.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love
This is a bit
to
of
see you
short
all.
notice. That's why I couldn't.
Yes, yes,
Because we
yes,
have
yes.
a concert Sunday.
For me, it's a little bit the same
Yeah.
because of my job here. I'm in the hotel.
So, but let's continue on the 18th, and we can maybe
Yes,
finish those
please.
topics.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sorry about this, but
If everyone is at the 18th is possible.
is everybody there?
I'm not 100% sure.
I have a rehearsal that morning. Sorry.
Okay.
we can.
Nice to meet you, Matteo.
We can
Yeah.
discuss different date if you want. It's not a problem for me. So we can all join together because I see, like, I prepared a few questions and there are wrote a few of them to you. But like we are naturally go through from this to this to this. I'm so grateful for this. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Oh my
Nice
God,
to meet everybody.
it would be amazing. Let's stay in touch.
So we keep the 18th for now, huh?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yes, please, and then we'll think maybe if the formula is if it's the need for the formula, we can make a
Always
repetition. It's
mail.
not a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be great pleasure to meet you all again.
Okay, Bartosz. Nice to be
Thank
here.
you so much, Martin. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Ciao, Martin.
Bye-bye.
See
Ciao.
you.
Ciao. Ciao.
Okay. So yes, let's yeah, it's quite late for a few of us. So let's maybe not extinguish all the topics and let's save something for the next time.
Can I just, sorry,
Yes,
I
please.
just something because maybe I think that in 18 I will not be here because I have a rehearsal. I conduct a little fanfare, so I will not be here. Well, because yesterday I was speaking and playing with a good friend, which is a wonderful classical symphonic percussionist, and they play all around Europe with great orchestras. And well, he was playing a snare drum. And he did also triangle. Did this wonderful thing. He play all the hits. How you say all the notes that plays exactly the same. That well, everybody who plays in symphony orchestra knows this is the most difficult thing to play three notes at the same volume, same sound of a triangle. Well,
Yeah.
we always, I think we everybody agree about this because I played that and I study a lot for doing that. And I say, wow, it's fantastic. Play three wonderful notes, and in orchestra, this is fantastic in symphony orchestra. But if I play three notes of the same volume at the same sound of a field drum, for me, it's super boring. I can't hear myself playing all the note with the same sound. In my music, I play, for example, there is this the timpanist. How we call the name of the timpanist of Lully is with D. You know him? I don't remember the name now. Well, he wrote this book about military music, Temps français, cant étranger, pour la garde du roi. Have you ever seen this book? It's about there is this famous two Baroque timpani duo.
Philidor.
Philidor, thank you, sorry.
Yeah.
Philidor.
Yes,
Thank you
right.
so much, sorry. I didn't remember the name. Well, I'm getting older. And I play a lot of, well, some of the music for solo field drum from that book. And when I recorded it, if I hear two notes at the same kind of sound and volume, I felt very bored by myself. So this is another point of great difference between symphonic percussion and historical percussion. In my opinion, we can speak for years and nobody has the real truth because we cannot know how they play, well, you can do it if you, from being a child, you live in a mountain without meeting people and without hearing music, I think. But we are totally oppressed by what is happening in the world, the music. We can live without hearing any kind of music. So we can play as they play, but everybody can have his own idea on how to play and form his own idea. This is my main point.
Mhm.
I would say, for me, it's really a little bit the same like the boy before. You got different questions or themes. When maybe we can take it for the next date. I see in my calendar I got time at the 18th of November. And so I would finish now because I have to stay up very early because of an education project. I'm here in anywhere. So maybe it's okay. Oh, I don't listen to you.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't have different questions. I had exactly these topics that we were covering naturally.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like I'm so happy for this. I think that we can all agree that we could talk hours and we would not deplete the ideas, the experiences. Okay, let's finish for now. We'll meet in the second 18th, or we can think and discuss a different. Larry, I'm thinking about you. Different date. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful for everything.
Cool.
Thank you for organizing this, Bartosz.
Yes. Nice. Nice.
It's always nice to talk about historical percussion for me, so it's a pleasure.
And Matteo, for me it's a pleasure to have a conversation like this now.
Yeah.
Much more than in the
Grazie mille,
festivals.
Matteo.
Hello, goodbye.
Last time I met Peter, it was a judge. Oh, Peter, hello, I have to go. And we do like this for
And Matteo,
for 1 second.
Matteo, we have to speak about Norbert.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Everyone, have a good night
Ciao,
or good day. Thank you so much. And see you next time. Thank you so
And
much.
keep playing, everybody, historical
Bye-bye.
percussion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.